So I'm going to talk about Elite Dangerous for a bit.
Okay.
Because we're still playing that on the Tuesdays. That's the Tuesday game. We're doing all right. We're still finding stuff to do in there. We did smuggling week the other week.
Oh,
that was a lot of fun. Well, you got these engineers, you see. Now, this is a Horizons only feature. You have to pay up for the DLC, which is fair enough. Ongoing development, you get what you pay for and such. Doesn't seem like an exploitative arrangement. So yeah, I recommend those. And you got these engineers, which are essentially quest NPCs. I mean, it's a kind of mid-term directed content in a game which really doesn't have much otherwise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very sort of throwaway faction, rinse and repeat local missions you do to earn money, but there's no large-scale story. There's no episodes, this, that, and the other. It's not that kind of game, and I don't think it was ever really setting out to be. They were rebuilding Elite, and have done a very good job.
Yeah.
But you've got these engineers that have been added, sort of quite a long time ago now, about a year, I suppose. And each of them is like a named NPC who there's about 20 or so of them, and they're all scattered around human space. And each of them essentially opens up the ability to customise and tweak and improve your various subsystems on your ships. But they'll only talk to you if you carry out a variety of different tasks. And these are great because they are a very incentivized, directed way of getting people to try all these different sorts of aspects of gameplay in that are available in the game. So we wanted to talk to one called The Dweller.
Okay.
Who specialises in laser weapons, which I'm a big fan of fixed beam lasers. Yeah. So my Diamondback Explorer's medium gun point has one of those on. So I thought, right, we need to get this unlocked because we'd already done the blasters guy. But The Dweller wants you to have smuggled to 5 different black markets.
Oh.
Yes. Because in your little side panel with all the stats of your play session and everything, it keeps track of how many markets you've dealt with, how many black markets you've dealt with.
Yeah.
And so basically all of the stats that are in that side panel, they feed into a lot of these different engineer unlock requirements. So, say for example, Felicity Farseer, who's one everyone goes for. I think that's very early on. It's available to everyone quite early on, and if you get to Scout rank of Explorer, she'll start talking to you. And Scout rank is fairly straightforward. You just have to
ping stuff every time.
Yeah, ping stuff. It doesn't take a long time to get to Scout. Then, so that will unlock access to her. Then to actually. So that unlocks, that unlocks the invitation, and then to unlock the engineering itself is usually a second task, and that second task was go off to the Pleiades and get a rare material, bring it back to them. Talked about that on previous show, but that's an example of it. And obviously, once that's done, she'll then start tinkering with your frameshift drive, which is very good. I can currently jump 40 light years or so in my Diamondback Explorer, which is good. Some of the high end tweaking and that nature can get up to like 70 light years with but you're having to really go mad and start taking guns off and using equipment one slot smaller than you should for your ship just to try and get the mass down.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been unlocking a few of these. We did a big old road trip to the Pleiades to get the meta alloys and unlock that, and everyone's been sort of tinkering about. And of course, once you've done the unlock, you can then return to this person anytime you like and submit some more of the materials and keep rolling the dice on the engineering, on the tweaking, and you work your way up ranks of rep with that engineering each time you do more work with them, allowing you access to bigger and bigger upgrades. Of course, each of the upgrades come with downsides as well. So it's a question of your upper useful stat and lower a not so useful stat on a module, and hopefully that lowering is not as bad as much as the upgrade you get. And you can keep rolling dice to aim for the perfect thing. There's secondary effects as well. So like some of the lasers and guns and stuff, you can add thermal effects to minigun bullets, which is interesting because you'll see when they're firing, you can see these red sparks when they hit and stuff like that. There's a laser modification that if you get a really good lucky dice roll, adds healing effects
to you or them.
To you.
Okay, not them.
No, to the laser.
Oh, because if you shoot them and
if you shoot your friends with this beam laser, it will heal their shields.
Okay,
and it still does damage to the enemy.
Oh, so it knows.
Yes. It's
it's not just technically doing less damage on.
It's probably quantum or something, but no. Basically, it gives you a modification. I mean, you have to keep rolling the dice to get lucky with it. But you can also spend your reputation rank, the 5 little hexagons there. You can just literally burn 2 ranks of that and bump yourself back down to 3, and choose one of these super mods as well. Which is and then you just have to keep working your way back up with the rank again. So it's not that difficult to actually kit your ship out in a significantly different and improved way to the stock gear. And some of the, I mean, just looking at the cumulative effect of all these mods, it's vastly altering ship characteristics.
Yeah.
Doubling stats, halving others, and adding entirely new things like, for example, a healing laser or thermal or kinetic effects to whatever weapons. Very impressive. So anyway, we wanted to do the Dweller. We were trying smuggling, smuggling basically. So there's various ways to go about it. Obviously, if you grab barrels you find out in the wild, in the unknown signal sources, or just lying around on planets, pretty much any abandoned cargo is illegal to take and sell, including if you blow up pirates in combat, or if they eject cargo or whatever. I think if you jettison your own cargo and make sure you use the abandon option, then it removes your ownership from the tagging, so which means someone can legally pick it up and take it. So that's okay. So you can drop cargo for people on purpose, but cargo from wreckage and so on typically comes out as illegal salvage. So you can pick it up, but then you have to worry about being scanned by the police and so on. Also, you can go to various faraway places and buy actual proper illegal narcotics and what have you. We were dealing in onion head. We were drug smugglers because apparently onions are a bad thing or something.
Wasn't Onion Head a character in Parappa the Rapper?
I don't know. There's probably some kind of in joke that I didn't quite get. But yes, there's various
Pyramid Head.
there's various stuff called onion head, different varieties of it as well, which is apparently some in-game drug. And you can buy it in certain places and take it to other places and sell it on the black market.
Okay.
But of course, you're carrying contraband. So when the system patrol vessels do the scan thing, your little triangle scan, incoming scan, they'll see you, and if they find the stuff, then suddenly it all goes up. Bounties ahoy, open fire.
Next thing you know, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, yeah, and probably docking permissions revoked. I'm not quite sure. So you have to try and there's various ways you can go about it. So obviously you can use the little outposty type stations, the ones that are just a cargo container with an exterior docking port. So some of those have got black markets, and there's almost no scanning at all that goes on with those. So that's quite a safe way to do it.
System, do you?
Yeah, well, it needs to be a black market.
Yeah.
Whereas I imagine Anarchy System don't have a black market. Yeah, they just have a market, exactly. It does have to be illegal. So you have to actually find a system where it's illegal. It does actually warn you when you jump to a system and you're carrying illegal goods. You get a warning in red, and you can push J to cancel if you want. So you don't stack. One of the problems I always had with Elite, with EVE Online specifically, is that it was back in the bad old days. Certainly, I hear it's much better now, but back in the bad old days, it was almost impossible to work out if you were breaking laws or you were allowed to shoot people.
Well, you'd find out quickly enough.
You'd find out, yeah. Well, no, you'd find out because people who really understood the game well would game it in their favour and
you'd be
trick you into breaking the law so they could kill you.
You'd find out you exploded.
There's a lot of that. I mean, from what I understand, EVE these days, there's a lot more pop-ups. Are you sure you want to do this? And lots of warning thingies and cool-down timers and things in the corner. So people... See, I don't like the idea that people get killed because they don't understand the rules properly. I like the idea that people can take risks informed,
Yeah.
So, yes, have a pop-up. Explain to people what you're about to do will get you killed if you do it wrong. Hey, do you want to continue? And yes, you can push yes, and then, okay, if you get ganked or whatever, that's your business. You had the warnings. It's not because you didn't understand or you were tricked. You knew what you were doing and you got what could happen to you. Anyway, so so you jump into these systems with your onions, and you sidle up to the station. So if you've got the little exterior outpost ones, relatively easy. Slam into dock, get yourself inside, and then just sell through the black market menu. And that'll be a +1 on you need 5 of these done. You have to have 5 different stations. We were doing Coriolis stations, though, much more tricky proposition, letterbox and everything.
Yeah.
So usually...
You get scanned inside it?
No, I think you're safe once you're through the letterbox. Okay. I've not seen any scanning happening inside, but there's usually quite a lot of federal or system authority vessels floating around outside the dock, and so I don't know if the station itself periodically tries scanning you. But
I don't think so.
There's 2 ways to deal with this. One, just slam on the... just go for it. So basically,
full speed in.
You do still have to request docking permission. You can't just barrel in there without asking for permission, because then you'll get the loitering warnings and attack and bounties for that. So you appear at the station, you get to within 7.5k, ask for permission, then line up on the letterbox, hit their burners, go, and then you have to come to a crash stop between the letterbox and the back wall of the station. Typically, if you're doing 500 metres a second through the letterbox, they
do a quick 180
get quite
and turn
shouty.
the burners on again.
Well, quite, yeah, it's quite fraught. If you have to come to a crash stop and slam down on the pad. So some of our team were doing that. I think they just about managed. I didn't see anyone splash into the back of the station, so that was good. Well, the other alternative is to go silent running. So pushing backspace, I think by default, will essentially just shut all your heat vents.
Yeah.
It's a silent running mode. You can access it from the side panel as well as a toggle. And yeah, literally what that does is that closes down all your heat vents, and that little jaggedy bar down the bottom corner above your fuel tank, which shows your sort of heat
your
profile.
noise.
Yeah, noise. That goes to a flat line, and everything actually does go quiet as well. You can hear it, so that's brilliant. So yeah, but at that point your heat now starts to rise because the heat is not actually leaving the ship at all, and you've got various systems that are generating lots of heat. So prior to doing that, you want to make sure you've turned off all non-essential systems. When you go into silent running mode, your shield will deactivate anyway, which means you've got to be a bit careful with the letterbox and landing pad because you can't make many mistakes. But deactivating, so your module list on the side panel lets you toggle pips on and off for various systems. If you turn all your weapons off, you can get away with turning pretty much everything. You can turn life support off, then it will switch over to the life support module.
And if you've got a good
one. You bought, this is the reason you might buy an A grade life support system, because that then starts a countdown.
Yeah, that 15 minutes is nothing when you're in a fight. But
the A grade is 25 minutes, whereas the E grade I think is like 2 minutes. But if you're running silent running, your heat's going up at a certain rate as well, so you haven't got 25 minutes. But you can turn off various modules to slow the rate of that heat going up. And I don't know what I was doing. I was just sort of winging it from things I'd read on forums or whatever. I shut down most of the stuff, switched to silent running, and apparently the Diamondback Scout and Diamondback Explorer are very good smugglers. I've accidentally bought the right ship for the job. Yeah, I like them because they're just good fun, all-purpose, small, short-range ships. But when you switch to silent running, they drop to about 20% cold, and then they'll slowly go up. And I managed to get, we did about 5 different stations, and in silent running I managed to get from arrival outside the starbase to landed well before the needle got anywhere near the top. You can actually augment all that with the heatsink launchers, which is one of these external modules. It just fires a thing out which dumps your heat into a clip of something or other, probably a bit like Mass Effect 2's weapons. I don't know. But so that you can use, but the trouble is you only get 3 charges of that before you have to get them rearmed. Yeah. So you have ammunition on those and you can only fire 3. But to be honest, if you haven't landed within 3 goes on the heatsink, you're probably doing something wrong as well. But I didn't even have to launch the heatsinks at all. So I don't know whether I've got quite a cool running ship, or whether the Diamondback itself's a great
Or maybe
ship
you
to
found
be
your
doing.
vocation.
I'm just very good at smuggling. Yeah, it's great because as you're coming in, you get the traffic control radio voices and stuff. They actually notice you disappear. We've lost you off your scanners. Please acknowledge. They start to sound quite panicked, and I'm smirking as I sidle on through the letterbox. Of course, presumably no one's actually looking out the window doing visual inspections. But
have you got one of your black paint jobs on?
I did remember to turn the headlights off. I'm very sneaky.
I wonder if that actually gets noticed.
I don't know, but yeah, we managed 5 of those. Managed to, and because we combined it with a rares run, because the onion head stuff is essentially a rare commodity as well. So we went about 100 light years to go and pick a load up, brought it back, and then we're just dishing out a bit here and there. And so I was part of the problem. I was a dealer. But
how much you make?
Quite a lot actually. It's $1 million or $2 million I think for all of those.
And unlocked her.
But unlock the Dweller, which
far more important.
So then his second rank is give me 500,000 credits. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And then after that, yes, I was starting to get my laser. I can start modding my laser to improve damage, improve fall off. I think I went for range actually with the beam laser.
Yeah, actually I can see that.
Yeah, just improving the range, and I think he did scanners as well, which was a bonus. So we got the scanner tweaked as well. Got the range of that up to about 12 kilometres, 10, 12.
Oh yeah.
It's about 6 by default.
That's very useful.
Even an A grade, so about 6 kilometres. It's remarkable how short range your little radar HUD is in a res.
Yeah, I know some of those combat areas we've done.
Yeah,
the size of the radar is such the limiting factor of finding someone to shoot.
It really is. You can see gunfire happening in the distance. You can see the lasers, but you've got no idea on the scanner what's going on, and you've got to get really quite close to them to actually realise. When most of your weapons have got like a 2 or 3 kilometre range, your scanner goes 6 at top with stock. So, but you can get it. You can get it engineered up to about 10 or 12k, which greatly helps pick and choose your engagements a bit more in dogfighting and stuff. So that was good. I think we did a bit more. There was another one, I can't remember who it was now, but there's one that does shield mods, and we're quite keen on looking at that. He wants us to have dealt with 50 markets. So that's just normal commodities trading, but 50 of them is quite a big target.
That'll happen normally, surely.
Well, I don't know, because you tend to get into a bit of a habit and a pattern. Because the way the faction rep works, it's advantageous to stay in the same system and work for the same people over and over and over, and they will only send you to certain specific locations, within a certain radius over. So you could be playing for months and months and find that you've only dealt with like 12 markets.
But if you were to say load up full of water.
Oh yeah.
And just go on a trip. You could tick them
it's
off
easy enough to do. This really isn't a challenge. It's just remembering to actually make an effort of it. Whereas your normal sort of gameplay wouldn't do. I mean, I only got about 31, and I've been playing since it launched on and off. So you have to actually go out of your way to do 50 different markets, but it's not an arduous task. It's quite a casual one.
And everything in that game is so relaxing. So
it is. Well, I don't know.
Except the combat.
Hazardous res sites are quite challenging. We've been doing some of that the following week. We thought we'd chip in towards a community goal. I can't even remember which one it was. I think it's one of the ones to do with Canon Interstellar, who's this player organisation who are really into the lore and everything, and they were basically been granted. I think when these community goals complete, and I think they looked like they were going to be given a massive capital ship, base ship, that was going to be given to them not actually given to the players, but as in part of the game lore, it would be theirs, and it would go off and do some research and things. And so if you get involved in the backstory and the lore and the community of Elite, you'll start to see stuff turning up in game and recognition as well. So they're very involved in that sort of thing. But yeah, we sort of chipped in with the combat-y bit of that. It's just go and kill a load of pirates in this particular system, drop off the tickets at this particular base. We were trying hazardous res sites. It was quite touch and go. Getting the hang of the combat there. I think I have got the weediest ship. I am at the back of the queue now in our little gang's progression, as it were, because the nature of Elite Dangerous is the bigger ship is better. There's no.
It's the same with all these games.
Well, I don't know. You could argue that in Eve there is a role for Tech 2 frigates and smaller wings of bombers and
there's a role for
certain sorts of cruisers are good at electronic warfare or recon or whatever. But in Elite Dangerous, it is just keep getting a bigger ship.
Yeah.
The bigger ship is better than a smaller ship in every regard. Even the small, you'd think about manoeuvrability and dogfighting and stuff, but the very big ships have got fighter bays, and also turrets. And there's not much you can do dogfighty wise to avoid turrets in that game.
No.
So generally bigger is better. But I've reached a point with the Diamondback Explorer that I'm quite comfortable with now, because I'm very casual in that game. I don't put the hours in. I don't work my bank balance a lot. We get incidental good payouts for the stuff we're doing each Tuesday, and that's keeping me stable. And I'm sinking a lot of my money into donation missions for Federation, because I want to get to Earth eventually, and I'm about halfway on the last rank of that now, so that will happen soon enough. I think I'll still be interested by the time that happens, so we'll probably got more goals beyond that. I like the engineers. I like the idea of the engineers. We'll get those all unlocked. And because essentially I'm a sort of PvE questing Care Bear at heart, and this seems to fit that kind of gameplay style in Elite Dangerous. So we were doing some dogfighting stuff. I think we had a few people in the fighters using the multi-crew. I was in there Diamondback Explorer. My God, some of these wings of anacondas coming in and firing off everywhere are quite terrifying. Federal gunships, don't go one-on-one with those in a Diamondback Explorer is quite hard work. But I didn't get killed, but I think I was down to 30% hull at one point before I managed to bug out. Stuff sparking everywhere, sirens going. Oh God, I've got to run away.
Stuff in your ship sparks way before you think it should.
It's the Starfleet Academy School of Panel Design, isn't it? Well, we'll put the explosives under here. Yeah.
Well, the argument for that is it's the only way captains take any situation seriously.
Mission now and then, but it's very much about the camaraderie of the Tuesday nights and the wing combat for me. We do quite well on these. But so probably a bit of marketing, bit of trading next. Get that shield guy unlocked, and then we can start getting shield modded stuff. Yeah, which should be good because shields help you not die.
It's true.
I like the bi-weaves. That's the low overall but high recharge rate ones.
Yeah, I've been playing with those.
Yeah, those are good if you're a hull tanker, which I generally am. Usually if I'm fighting, I will stuff all the internal bays with hull reinforcements just to really bump the unshielded hit points up as much as possible. And that really does help you, gives you time to get the hell out,
It's a nice little buffer.
It is, very important, very good.
Although what you call buffer, the rest of us call the back half of the ship.
Probably nothing important. Yeah. Just fill the ship full of polyfiller before you go out, it's the way.
Well, if you fill it full of that fire retardant foam,
you
might catch fire.
Or just to deploy the airbag before you even launch.
Yeah.
You know, it's there.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the explosive. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, still playing that, still enjoying it a lot. Over to you.